against AC Milan or against Lazio or against whoever. If you sort of compare the two sides of the coin, do you want to watch a great game of top level Italian football, or do you want to watch Wickham against Rotherham, let's say? I know I would probably have to choose, Sunshine, but the standard of football is a great deal better. No offence to Wickham or Rotherham fans who might be listening, but you can't compare Wickham against Rotherham to something like Rome against Milan. It's crazy.
The big problem as well is when you cut the ticket prices, clubs are obviously worried about how much effect it's going to make on them, like extra revenue. So a team like Tranmere, there's obviously there are very few extra fans who would probably be enticed into a game by lower ticket prices, and the club are making a huge gamble to say if they charged a tenner for an adult instead, would they be making money by more fans coming through the gate, or would they just be making less money but with the same amount of fans coming through the gate paying less for a ticket?
Yeah, I mean, it was tried towards the end of the playoff push season in 2008-09, I think, against Bristol Rovers and against Millwall, where they charged a fiver just to get in, which was, I think, a third of the usual ticket price. But obviously they didn't treble the number of fans in the ground, so in effect they're losing money straight away. I think only per week might have been an extra $1,000 on the gate, which sadly doesn't pay the bills. Just bring in a little tweet here. You've caught the link with Wickham Wanderers before. That's because I'm looking at a tweet from the Wanderer Podcast. Who kindly tweeted in. You can catch their podcast as well. I said I'd give them a shout out. So wandererpodcast.t83.net if you want to listen to some Wickham Wanderers fans. And they said they would love clubs to give football back to their community by slashing ticket prices in half in the hope of attracting double figures in terms of attendance, which is obviously what we've been talking about. And obviously the example I gave at Tranmere doesn't seem to weigh up properly, unfortunately.
I've got a couple of emails, one off Chris Hopewell. He said ticket prices across the league seem to be spiralling out of control, but ironically in the Premier League tickets have levelled off. Clubs like Wigan and Blackburn are charging just £20 for a Premier League ticket, which to fringe fans is very appealing because it's quite a cheap match if you can go and see a game like Liverpool, Man U or Arsenal. In addition to this, he said that ticket prices at away games should be priced based on how much the away team charged your fans to get in at their game. The example he uses is if MK Dons charged Tranmere fans £20 to get in at Stadium MK, then Tranmere should charge MK Dons fans £20 to get in at Prenton Park, because it's a leveller and it would hopefully boost the income for supporters because Tranmere are then getting a bit more money. I would like to bring up in something here about Sheffield Wednesday. I live in Sheffield. I've been to a couple of their games this season. Now they charge £5 for a few games for students to get in. They've got a student price for nearly all their games, and indeed I'm going to their Hereford game on Saturday in the Cup for £8. Yet they don't have a student price for away fans. So an away fan who is a student has to pay £21 to get in, which is just absolutely scandalous how they can charge students as their home fans, but they can't have it as away fans. And what's to stop, say, me saying to all Tranmere fans, come on, you can all get a student ticket in the home end for £8, £5, and what can they do about it? And then you're saving yourself £15 to watch the same game of football. It shouldn't be a different price for the same match, should it?
No, definitely not. Like you say, that's scandalous. It really is. It's totally double standards, isn't it, really? If you can watch the same game for a fraction of the price, not by breaking the law or not by saying you're someone who you're not, it's crazy. I mean, the prices should be the same across the board. Home fans, away fans, directors, whatever. if you're watching the same game, you should really be paying the same price. Okay, you've got different levels of low, high, medium in terms of in the stands. You might get a more premium seat, shall we say, for a little bit more. But overall, I mean, it should be, across the board, the prices should be the same for both sets of fans.
I completely agree. There is a rule where the away club is not the home club is not allowed to charge more for away fans than they do for their own home fans. But obviously that rule doesn't apply in set categories. So as long as Sheffield Wednesday didn't charge more for the adult ticket for home away fans, then they're not breaking the law, which seems a bit unfair, really. But that's just how it is.
Yeah, that's the way of the world, unfortunately. If you can get away with it, then they're going to try and persuade those poor students to fork out 21 quid in the away end.
But I think they're shooting themselves in the foot as well, because there's, as a student, a lot of people can't afford £21 to go to a game. I'm lucky enough to save up and go to the matches, but other people aren't in that same position. So it just seems like they're pricing people out of going to the games. It just seems stupid. Losing out on money.
Sorry, definitely. We either want full stadiums or we want people paying big bucks. If you reduce the prices just a fraction, it does entice a few more people to go down. And if you see a good game, then you're more likely to want to go back. So it's a bit of give and take, I think, from the football clubs. They need to reduce the prices, maybe not slash them in half, but reduce them a little bit. A few pounds here and there. You will get people enticed by that, and obviously if they see good matches, good football being played, then people will keep coming back. So it's a win-win in my eyes.
Yeah, I can see what you mean, definitely. I've got another email here. This is from Chris Burstow. He says, ticket prices, kids under 10 should get in free with a paying adult to any game, because the small clubs are dying out there and their main source of income is gate receipts. So they need the money, but at the same time, it's scandalous to charge away fans more than it is home fans. We've just covered that. But as I say, Sheffield Wednesday do that particular offer. But he's saying kids should get in free, and kids are definitely the future. And Tranmere invested heavily in kids over the last few years. I remember it was £23 for a season ticket when Lorraine Rodgers was in charge if you were under 16, which is a fantastic offer, and it gets people to the club and it gets people supporting the club, which is what they want, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, a pound a game is fantastic value, and obviously kids can't come without an adult supervisor, really. So it then entices an adult to buy a ticket. So offers like that really do work, and we've seen over the last few years loads of kids are now attending Tranmere games, and next few years they'll be paying adult prices, which will make the club obviously more money, and it's a new generation of fans that maybe without that offer initially would not have thought about coming to Prenton Park.
We've got another email, our final email from Stuart Harper. Any relation, Paul?
Not that I know of, no.
Not that you know of.
Not that I know of, no. But I'll maybe investigate.
He says he's Aston Villa fan, and he says in his experience of buying Aston Villa tickets, they build a point system leading into away grade games, and the more games you go to, the more points you get. But he says as a family man with two daughters, it's difficult for him to go to every game. Now, the more points you have, the more likely you are to get a ticket. But he says even the day before a game, they would soon have 20% of the capacity unsold and release the tickets to supporters. He says he feels that clubs need to be a little more adroit in how they market games. If 24 hours before a game, a good number of tickets remain unsold, an effort has to be made to make fans aware that there are tickets available. But if clubs had a registration service, maybe like a text service sent the day before the game, then people would know tickets are available and they'd be able to go and buy them. It's a good idea, that, Paul.
Yeah, definitely. You either want to sell tickets or you don't, and if you don't make people aware that tickets are available to buy, then you're not going to sell them, are you, really? So, yeah, it's definitely a good idea.
So, moving on from ticket prices as we look to push on because we are running out of time. Last couple of games, some decent results, Paul. 2-0 win over Southampton and then the 0-0 draw last night with Swindon Town. You've got to be happy with 4 points from those 6 games.
4 points from 6, possible, yeah, from the 2 games.
4 points, sorry, yeah.
Sorry to pick you up on that. Yeah, definitely. I think you predicted it perfectly last week. Southampton was a piece of cake. Not scared of the big teams. And put in a great performance. It was a great 2-0 win. Lovely goal by Dale Jennings, which I'm sure will win him a few more plaudits on the old scouting missions. But yeah, definitely we performed really well, and Southampton are obviously a really good team, but I don't think they caused us all that many problems. And Tony Warner made a couple of good saves, but other than that, I can't think of anything that made me think we were under a great deal of pressure. So superb 3 points.
And then last night, another great point. Perhaps suggestions that we could have pushed on for a win against Swindon, but you'd have taken the 0-0 and the second consecutive clean sheet before you went, wouldn't you? Because Swindon, a ground that we've not been particularly successful in recent years, well, in any year. And it's a decent point because they're a team that if we'd lost to, they would have gone above us in the table and we'd have been staring back down at the relegation zone. But as it is, we've got the draw and we're able to just look up and start to push up because the next few games are very winnable.
Yeah, definitely, like you say. It's a ground that we never do well at, especially when they turn the lights out. And yeah, we never live that down. And yeah, 0-0, I would have taken that all day long, to be honest. Obviously, with conceding a penalty as well, if I can get my words out. Tony Warner making a great save from the penalty. It's a really good point, and we can start pushing up the league table.
Credit's got to go to the defence in the last few games. I mean, it's been a very makeshift defence. McChrystal's come in, Warner's come in, Kay have come in over the last month. We've had Nick Wood come in over the last 2 games as well. We've kept 2 clean sheets, defended pretty admirably, and Warner has obviously been a very good calming influence, but McChrystal's making a big difference as well.
Yeah, for sure. I had my first real look at him on Saturday against Southampton. He looks, apart from one dodgy back pass that he made, which was shocking, apart from that, he was absolutely superb and made a really good full debut. I was very impressed. Nice, cool head. He cleared everything that was thrown his way. Him and Nick Wood were fantastic, and special word for Nick Wood, who got a bit of stick after his early season form dipped substantially, really. He came in and did a great job, and obviously they both did a great job last night against Swindon as well. So fair play to the pair of them.
You've got to look at Les Parry's record as Tranmere manager on Tuesday night. I had a look at it earlier, and I believe, if I recall the tweet correctly, played 9, this is away from home, in Tuesday night matches. Played 9, won 7, drawn 1, lost 1. That's an absolutely phenomenal record.
We'll have to call you start home, I think. Yeah, that's a fantastic record, and fair play to Les. He likes Tuesday nights, I think.
He does, and a couple more Tuesday nights coming up. I'm just trying to recall. Here